Good morning. I'm back. I'm back. I know, it could be scary. Depends on how you see me, I guess. One way or the other, I'm back. Hey. Hello. Good morning. Hey, how you doing? Thank you for clicking here. Welcome to Periwinkle Palace Arts. I'm Princess Bun Bun, here with all my bun buns. And we do art here and talk, mostly to ourselves right now because not many people come chat with me yet. I'm rambling. So, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I'm here. I'm having a little bit of trouble waking up this morning. My tooth is still hurt. So, but I have a policy where I just show up. I show up to my studio and whatever happens, happens. I have a lot happening in the background. Yesterday we went and got a bunch of stuff out of the building so I can start pulling together some other projects that I've been meaning to work on forever. Let's see. First, we introduced the Bun Buns. We have Maya, my main girl. She is getting a new outfit soon. This is the fibromyalgia bunny. She's the first bunny I got, and she's my friend. Say hi, Maya. Maya said, "Good morning." Get this light out of my face. Her funny face makes me happy. It's something about those big button eyes, I think. She likes to sit right underneath my laptop, which just bumped my mouse and everything spread apart. Oops. There we go. Yes, I'm gonna wake up eventually. Okay. We also have today my narcolepsy bunny. Narcolepsy bunny doesn't come out here very much because he likes to stay on the bed right on my pillow, kind of on the outer edge of the bunny pile, and he stays there for when I need a nap. He's a strange little dude, but he has stars on him, and honestly, y'all, I don't know what's up with the 70s retro chest hair here, but I love it. He got a little sleepy-headed mohawk. He's always sleepy. And his arm is always pointing. Let's go to bed. Let's go to bed. His name is Mr. Nod. Mr. Nod. And he has these cute sleepy, dreamy waves in his ears. His ear on the inside is like velveteen, kind of. And he has these little thingies. And some of my bunnies have them and some of them don't. And I don't know what they are, but I imagine that they're either something to hold on to while I'm taking a nap, just like, almost like a little bunny ear hand, or maybe they're for him to run away to his dreams. They might not be legs, I don't know. Anyway, say hi, Mr. Nod. He says he wants to take a nap. And I wanted to introduce him to you, but he'll probably go back to the bed at lunchtime. And also, I have one of the planetary buns. This is Luna. She's named after one of my children. She's Luna the Moon. She has these big eyes, and she has little moon spots all over her, and a big moon on her tum-tum. And she likes when you rub it. And she has these pretty things on the back of her ears, but look at the inside of her ears. It's the phases of the moon. They're so pretty. How you doing? You don't know? You don't know. She says she's just a big rock in space. She doesn't know how to do a how are you doing. It's okay. Are you doing better now? Yeah, she says hugs make her do better, but she still doesn't know how she's doing. I am ridiculous. If you want to know where I get my bunnies, okay, most of my bunnies, because I have lots of bunnies, not just from one place, check the description box below. This is something that's not supposed to be on my desk right now. All right. Let's see. Oh, you know what we need to do art? We need to put on our ears. Today is Orange Day. Colors, I organize things by colors. They help me keep things together. So the way I know that it's Orange Day, which is Tuesday, is because my Apple Watch face is orange today. So when I wake up in the morning, I do this. Oh, not that. I tap it like that, and I swipe to the next day. And the days of the week are different colors. I start on red on Monday. Today is not Monday. Don't do that. Okay. It's Orange Day. Now, recently, okay, within the past year, I've been doing a lot of decluttering. I went through all of my clothes. I got rid of anything that didn't fit right, had a tear. Okay, not everything that had a tear in it. Some of them I started making into altered clothes. Altered clothing? Basically, I started cutting them into pieces and making them look cute. But most of my clothes that didn't fit, were torn, or I never wore, I got rid of. In doing so, I reduced myself to a basic closet worth of clothes because I don't ever go anywhere. So why do I need all those clothes? Well, that was a great logic. I got rid of most of my yellow and orange clothes. So today we are wearing a coral shirt. It's close to orange, but I have orange ponytail holders, and I usually wear this on Orange Day or Yellow Day because it's polka dotted. We'll go with it. If I seem loopy today or kind of zone out for a few seconds here and there, my mouth hurts. It hurts all right here, and it hurts into my ear, and my whole side of my face just feels like it's gonna explode right off my head. I've had an actual tooth explode. The last time I had to get one extracted, it actually had abscessed, and I was just sitting here doing nothing, and I started screaming. My husband was in the kitchen, and he was like, what is it? And when I could finally talk, I was like, it feels like my tooth exploded. It hurt so bad. Like I said, it was the Sunday afternoon. I text messaged my dentist, like, what do I do? And that was the last one I had to get extracted. So I know what that feels like, and I can tell you the tooth is not going to explode today. The antibiotics have helped a lot. Like, I was in so much pain last week, but they haven't cleared the whole pain. So at this point, I know it's not just that it was infected that was hurting it. It's also, it's broken. It hurts. We're going to deal with it soon. But I'm going to keep going as much as I can until we deal with that. All right. Next topic. Okay, so yesterday I had a chip on this fingernail. You can still see the very edge of the chip. But at the end of yesterday's afternoon stream, I took a few minutes to show you guys how I use a hand file and top coat to shorten my nail and clean up any little chips or whatever. And then I top coat them. I do a double top coat on them to seal everything in. So you can see that one looks kind of thick. I went ahead and did the rest of these off camera. At some point today, I need to do this side. My thumb is not bleeding. It did not bleed. In yesterday's morning live stream, I had a red marker that was starting to overflow. When I took the cap off of the chisel end of it, I saw ink fly. So I was looking around my desk and I couldn't find out where it flew. Well, during lunch I looked down at my thumb and I was like, am I bleeding? Because this is a thing that does happen to my hands due to the psoriasis. But it wasn't blood. It was just the red ink. That's where the red ink landed. It landed on my thumb nail and spread into my cuticle area. I tried to use rubbing alcohol to get most of it off. What's still there is stuck to dead cuticle skin. So, woo! I need to do that. And when I do the cuticle cleanup around my overlays, I will show you guys how I do that. But I don't want to do it today. Quick note, I won't be streaming tomorrow afternoon. I'll still do a stream tomorrow morning, but I have an appointment tomorrow afternoon. Honestly, remodeling a house and then moving, it's pain. I've never done this before. I've moved a lot up until we lived here and our last place we lived. I moved a lot. Most of my life I spent moving every 3 to 6 months to a year since I was a kid. So I'm very resistant to the change. I've been very resistant to it, but part of the remodel that we're doing is making the master bathtub / shower accessibility optimized for my issues so that I can actually safely bathe or shower by myself. Woot. But there were some changes to the plan that we had originally made, so I need to go back over there to make sure that the changes they made to the plan are going to be good. I'm not looking forward to it. You'd think I would be excited, but I have to talk to people I don't know, and yeah, it's not my favorite thing. So yesterday morning we created this rainbow. I'll show you the colored pencil version of this. If you can tell, you can obviously tell, I just put it here. So this rainbow was really only supposed to go over the top edge like that so that it would be kind of matched up like this. Kind of, like, it's not perfect, but I actually did not do these while they were side by side or anything. So it was supposed to go like up and off the page. But I wanted this rainbow to be different. I did, however, match this one up with the other one, the one we did last week. And it kind of matches. Kind of. But it started out really thin over here, and I wanted it to just get wider and wider as it went. I don't even know if this part's gonna stay here because I might trim it off because that's actually well past the edge design. And I don't know if I want to actually take the time and effort to draw in by hand like I did on this one. Because see, let's see. See if I can line this up. So everything you see on the outside of this edge right here, and all of this right here, I drew that in by hand because I wanted to go to the edge of the paper. I did it on all 3 of these. But, you know, I don't know if I want to do that on this one. It depends. Sometimes I get going and I just do whatever. Anyway, so we did the rainbow yesterday morning, and then I came in and did the sky in the afternoon stream, which was completely not the technique used in the class, but I wanted the sky to look different than the other ones. So they all have a different look to the sky. I feel like my sky has gotten better as it's gone along. So we started with this one right here. Let me move these out of the way. We started with, this was the first one. So there's that sky. There's the, oh, that was the third one I did. Okay. There's the second one. And the sky is done using pretty much the same colors and technique. It's just variations on them. The technique is different from colored pencil to marker, but basically with colored pencil, you're going in circles and using soft layers to create this. In marker, it's more like a dabbing kind of thing. Let's see, this was the third sky. I'm trying to put these all here. This was the fourth sky. Can you get them all on camera? Let's see. So you can see they all look fairly different. And this one and this one, I did almost exactly the same. I tried to keep the technique and the colors really true to the original. And then there's this one. So you can look at all those skies and really see the difference. Not really in color, not really in technique, but just they all came out really different, and I don't think any of them are right, and I don't think any of them are wrong. Art is not right or wrong. I think they're all very different, and it's really hard for me to pick a favorite. However, this sky right here is more of what I've been like envisioning in my mind as I've been coloring these. So one of the things that I did was I made the rainbow much bigger. So I made the clouds much smaller. I wanted you to still be able to tell they were sky, or clouds in the sky, and not just blobs. Some of my clouds come out looking a little weird. Like this one right here, I don't even know what that is. It's like just these wisps. But I like it. It came out looking very different. So I'm happy. I'm happy with how all of this is going. I would like to know if you have a favorite sky out of these. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. In the comments, you can let me know in the chat. Whatever you want. Okay. And in the rainbow yesterday, I showed you how I use the 000 and quadruple 0, and I even went in with some double zeros to create this blend and really map out where I wanted the colors to go. And I think they're really great to work with. They just give you a very a very light wash of it with a hint of color, so that you can, it's not outlining, you can, it's just kind of like mapping out. You can see where you're going to put your colors and keep them kind of in line. And I really, really like how that one came out. So over here I have the conversions from Prismacolor pencil. So that's the words. that are in just the ink, the black ink. And then I used the color conversion chart for pencil to markers on the Kitten Clowder website. It's very, very helpful. And I will link that in the description box down below after the stream. But if you want it right now, you can go to either one of yesterday's streams. I put the link in there for you. I also got a comment on one of yesterday's videos asking me what paper I'm using. The paper that I'm using is called ExpressIT Blending Card. I think, though feel free to check me on this, I think it's made by the company that makes Copics. I usually get it off of Amazon. Sometimes I get it off of Blick.com. It depends on who has it cheaper, but I buy it in packs. That's what I use for my alcohol markers. I absolutely love it. I tried a few other papers before I came to the decision that I like my alcohol markers best with ExpressIT blending paper. It's smooth and it's very absorbent, and it takes a lot to get bleed through, but I do kind of love this stained glass look it makes on the back of the page. One of these days I'm going to color something, and then I'm going to come on the back of the page and color it in reverse, just because I want to. Okay, so the color conversion chart. I wrote down all of the colors that we're using in this class, and then I marked them with the colors, so that it just makes it easier for me to glance at this. And I'll show you why. I didn't explain this yesterday. When she does her classes, she breaks all of your colors down by the area. So like skin, hair, dress, road, grass, foliage, city, sky, rainbow, village, flowers, and village, roof. Yeah. So you end up with, and this isn't a problem, it's actually smart. You end up where you can take your page and you can pull out just the colors you need for the part you're working on. So if I was doing the skin right now, I could just pull out white, eggshell, light peach, peach, and burnt ochre. What that does result in, though, is that sometimes you have repeated colors on the page. It's fine. But burnt ochre is here. It's also here. It's also here. So to condense things and make them easier for me, I write out the list without repeating the colors. I can still use this page to pull out just the colors I need for the area I'm working on. So this morning we're going to work on the city. All of this right here. So for the city, we need white, light green, parrot green, cobalt, turquoise, and dark green. So I pulled out everything. Obviously, I don't have the white because there's no white in markers, but you can use white over marker. So that allows me to pull out just the colors I need. And then I watched the video. I watched the video the first time to learn how to do it. That's not where we're at now. I watched the video to learn how to do it on this one with pencils. But I don't really need the video. I just need to know, okay, which color is she picking up next? So I don't do classes here. I don't teach. These aren't tutorials. If you want to get this class, if you want to color, if you want to learn how to color like this, if you want to grab the classes for someone else, whatever you want to do, the link is in the description box below. It's kittenclowder.com. The classes are extremely affordable. It's in Australian money, dollars. So the actual cost of the class, it varies a little bit here and there. But I don't think I've ever paid more than $25 for all of her classes with the monthly subscription. So that's one monthly colored pencil class, okay? One monthly markers class. And then you also get another class like a sea otter we did a couple of weeks ago. We've done a duckling. We've done Um, it's the monthly bonus class. She puts it out, and it's the same image for both colored pencil and marker, and they come in one video. Um, and all of that, plus most of the images you need, plus so much more, including free classes that she puts out here and there, and mini tutorials, which you can check out on her YouTube channel for like 25 bucks a month. I don't know how you can beat that. There's people out there that offer classes that are like $100 a piece. And can we afford that in this day and age? Really? I don't know. Some of us can, some of us can't. I do know that I can handle $25 a month. Okay, so we're going to start out our city today, and it's going to be a little tricky, and I'll show you why. Using markers, it's a little bit more difficult to get your fine lines and details in. So over here, you can see that there's not a lot of detail in the markers, but look at the detail in the pencils class. There's a lot more to work with. So I am going to try my best to not mess this up and get it blobby everywhere. That's right, Maya. We're gonna try not to get it blobby. And we're just gonna jump in. Sometimes I get nervous staring at something blank, and I don't know about you guys, but sometimes you just have to jump in, right? Let me turn on my time-lapse camera before I forget. I haven't been posting on Instagram like I need to. I don't need to. I haven't been posting on Instagram like I want to. I just keep forgetting. I've been forgetting to take even photographs of the artwork at the end of the day. I usually, not just with art, but with everything I do throughout my day, I take before and after pictures. Why? I don't know. It's an obsession. Just like I don't know why I've been recording myself all day long, every day for years, but I have. I have so much video that I want to turn into actual edited videos for the channel. But y'all, my brain is not as resilient as it was in my early 20s when I was learning how to be a network administrator and learning digital design and putting together websites and all of that stuff. And I'm having to relearn it. Plus, I'm learning Final Cut Pro. So I'm taking a class, and there's a part of me that keeps saying I should just jump in and just take a video and edit it and mess it up. I call it the FAFO method. I've been doing it for a long time, long before FAFO was a word. I used to say the way I learn something is I break it and then I have to fix it. But I don't say that anymore because of Elon Musk's whole break things and go fast policy. I don't want to say that anymore. I just don't. All right, let's get started. So we're going to start with, I'm going to try to create the outline, and then I'm going to come back through it and try to put in the cast shadows. I'm not going to try to do both at the same time. We're going to be doing it with the same color, but my eyes visually kind of need to work through one part of this at a time. So that's what we're going to do. Y'all ready? All right. Now, let me tell you a couple more things while I get started here. My hands are very shaky this morning. Okay, so I often find myself bebopping, dancing, moving my head, which at this time moves my cameras a lot, and I try to avoid that. Sometimes I even try to hold my desk with my knee against the pool noodle that I put down there so I stop injuring myself. But my point is, I do dance and sing and hum along while I do my work, especially if there's nobody in the live chat. Whatever, right? You know, YouTube doesn't like you to play copyrighted music in your background. of your videos. So what I do instead, if you want to know what it is that I'm listening to and bebopping along with, let's see if I can do it today. Put the finger like this and just move it over. Don't tilt it. As long as I'm not looking at the freaking screen, I can do it. There it is. It's a little screen share of my mini player for Spotify, and it'll tell you and update you on what songs I'm listening to if you are curious about that. What else? Let me talk a little bit about the somewhat schedule that I have going. We're not going to call it a schedule, okay? I don't really work well with schedules. I work pretty well with habits, routines, and kind of a flow. I have a structured environment and a structured time that I do certain types of things. But within that structure, I allow myself to have a lot of flow. So that's why sometimes I'll say we're going to be coloring such and such, and later on after the stream you'll see that I add into the title also filing a nail because I might just stop and do something like that. Oh no, you see that blob? But schedule wise, I find myself coming to stream about 8:30 every morning so far, pretty much Monday through Friday. And we can say that that is pretty much a regular routine. And I usually stay here either until I'm finished with a project or I don't feel good. But one way or the other, I try to get off of the stream at 11 o'clock for lunch. There's things that I need to go do. My children want to talk to me. Things like that, you know. I get off stream to do all that stuff. If I'm feeling well enough, I try to come back for an afternoon stream after lunch, and then I just go until I either finish what I'm doing or I'm tired. Or, in the case of a couple weeks back, until the weird lightning and thunder going on every afternoon here where I live kicks me off the internet because it turned off my power. That happened a few times. So that's kind of the schedule. I think I'm gonna pretty much take a break on Saturday every week because I like to spend that day with my husband. Even if we don't do anything but sit here and stare at each other. I just like to spend that day with my husband. And I think that Sunday we'll call that a bonus. If I do stream on Sunday, yay. If I don't, you'll see me Monday. Coming to my studio every morning is part of my daily life. Has been for several years. So I can pretty much guarantee that unless I am unable to physically get out of the bed, I will be here around 8:30 every Monday morning and around 8:30 pretty much every work day. If it's a work day or a school day, I'll probably be here. Because this is what I would be doing with my life, even if I weren't streaming. So I might as well just come on here and chill with you guys. This isn't going well for me so far. I think there's a hair on the end of my marker. Yep, dog hair. It was something I wanted to tell you guys today. I'm trying to remember it. I can't think of it. don't have to be perfect with this. Um, it's just a matter of creating kind of the look that it's detailed without creating a lot of the detail. I don't know how to explain that really. And I think there's still a hair on the tip of this. I notice tiny little things like that when I'm doing art. Like a hair. I just saw it again. Give me a second. Give me a second. Oh, this is annoying. There we go. Okay. Something's going on with this, and it's going to require my tiny scissors. I don't know where they are. Where are the tiny scissors? Here. Okay. This is like just a fuzz at the end of the marker, and I'm just gonna snip it right off. There we go. That should work a little better. Because the marker wasn't blobbing because it was leaking. It was blobbing because there was kind of a ragged little tip. And I'm sure most people would just like replace the tip because these are replaceable nibs. But, shoot. I forgot to buy some. So I need to do that. But I just don't throw away everything when I'm supposed to. Always. What a feeling. Come on, if you don't like Flashdance, what are we doing? What are we doing? It's a feel-good song for the ages. Some of the really thin parts, I'm trying to go more outside the line. I know I color outside the lines. I'm trying to go more outside the lines so that I have a little bit more space on the interior of the shape to work with. I don't know if you could tell, but if you look, you could absolutely see how wiggly my fingers are this morning. But it's fine. One of the things I love about alcohol markers is you can get wobbly like that, and it can be easily fixed, blended out. It's easy. It's easy to deal with. As a person who does art with arthritis and twitchiness and all kinds of things, I've learned different strategies for dealing with it. For instance, coloring kind of outside the lines helps me to not mess up the interior so much that I can't blend it out later. Another way that I'm dealing with the shaky hands this morning, like I said, is I'm only doing the outlines kind of right now and creating the shapes. I'm not doing the cast shadows yet. I'm going to come back through and do those. This way I can make sure that I got everything the way I want it. Another thing that I do is when my hand's shaking, I will put my hand as close to I'll get the marker tip as close to the paper as I can. Then I'll take a breath and hold it. And go over it like this. So that, I mean, it kind of helps. Sometimes it doesn't. They're just different strategies that I've learned for when my hands are being, I guess what you would call, they're misbehaving. That's what they're doing. And to be fair, There's not much I can do about the shakiness. But my whole thing is I refuse to let my malfunctioning body dictate what kind of life I'm going to live. So I fight it every day. I fight back. And sometimes I lose the battle, but I'm not losing the war. I can tell you that. If I were losing the war, I never would have become an artist, I don't think. So sometimes when I feel like I'm losing my battles, I'll remind myself, hey, you know, you used to do one thing and have a career, and when all of that fell apart because your body decided to betray you, you went down for a while, but you got back up, and you just kind of found a whole new way to live your life. So quit being so hard on yourself. I have to tell myself one these days when I'm stuck in bed. I call it being grounded. I have to call myself out a lot for being harsh to my own self. I think we all have a little voice in the back of our head that tells us negativity all the time about ourselves, about our worth, about our success in life. We call ourselves failures. But, you know, being harsh to yourself, I'm going to be honest with you, it's not really helpful. It's more helpful if you're kind to yourself. Not just in art, but in everyday life. If we learn to be kinder to ourselves, I think we might actually be kinder to other people too. It's easier to be kind to people when you aren't being negative towards yourself. When you treat yourself kindly, you notice how good it feels. You know? When you bring positivity into your own self, it generates more positivity for you to give away to others. I'm not saying you should give away all of your life to others. Goodness, no. We should all protect ourselves from giving away too much. But kindness costs nothing. So that got a little blobby. It's fine. I'll deal with it later. Now I really want to keep the little spire right here. So I'm going to go pretty far outside of that line. I want to make sure that I don't make that disappear. I think it's cute. Most of what I've been doing on these live streams so far, I admit, have been these kitten clouder classes because, well, a couple of things. One, I hadn't done any for a while because from about November to I want to say mid-April, I was grounded to bed for medication reasons. I wasn't even able to get to my little studio here on those days. So when I was able to get back up, you know, in here, I was missing the classes. So I printed out almost 2 years worth of classes and got them ready to go. Now, one of the reasons I did that is because for me, getting them printed out and sizing them up and getting the emails and getting the videos and captioning the videos, that takes me more time than anything else when it comes to setting up for a class. So I like to do that kind of way ahead of time. That's another reason you'll probably never see me do one of the current classes at Kitten Clouder, because I don't do them in order. Sometimes I do them based on, like, I want to learn a specific technique for something else I'm working on. But usually I just pick whatever appeals to me at the moment and go with that. But yeah, I missed the classes, so that's why I've been doing so many of them. The other reason is that when I got stuck in bed, before that I had like a bunch of different projects um, that were waiting on me. That's what I went and pulled out of my building yesterday, is some of those projects, because the parts got like separated. The pieces I needed to do this, the pieces I needed to do that. Um, so I had to find pieces for projects. One of the projects that I have to do is, if you look back in some of my videos, you'll see that I'm wearing these pink little, what are they called? Pom pom ball bunny hair clips. I have a bunch of those, but they're all that same color. And like I said, I tend to organize things by color rather than time wise, alphabetically, numerically. No, I organize by color. I have a real problem with time. So I had bought those little pink bunny pom pom hair clips. And then I decided I want bunny hair clips in every color. Because, you know, that's how I do. I used to make hair bows, and I had a little Etsy shop. Hair bows, wreaths, bow holders, tutu bow holders. I never really like got fed up with it or anything. It just became impossible for me to do because there were people living here that made things difficult. And those people are no longer part of my life. Yay. So, anyway, I know how to make those little hair clips very easily. So, I bought a bunch of different kinds of pom-poms, sizes, and I have a box of the hair clips, and I got, like, I think it's 50 yards, because all of my ribbon is in the pod, which I need to get unpacked. But I got like 50 yards of, I believe this is 3/8 inch. No, it's 1/4 inch, and it is 50 yards. 1/4 inch gross grain in black and white ribbon to line the clips. And I'm going to make my own bunny hair clips. Woot. And I have little pieces of felt that I'm going to cut for the ears. Some other things that I have to do is other coloring projects. Some of them are halfway through. Some of them are almost finished. And some of them are just planned out. Then I also have a little book that I made. It's not cute. It was my first attempt making my own kind of like sketchbook. But I'm going to use it for something. I'm going to make, I mean, this is kind of childish, but I think it'll be cute. I'm going to make a stuffy book that has a picture of the stuffy and the stuffy's name and when the stuffy became part of my family and who gave me the stuffy, and if there's any special meaning to the stuffy. And I'm gonna write their personalities down and their favorite things. It'll be cute. Okay, I'm gonna try to, again, make sure that I don't take up too much of this little spire here. So I'm gonna go on the outside of it, like that. I don't know why I made that so big. Whatever. Some of them, I'm coming more inside the lines too. If it's a bigger area, like this right here, I came on the inside, and this area I came on the inside. So oops. I filled that one in. I didn't mean to, but you know what? In the long run, it doesn't even matter. If you happen to pop into the live chat and I happen to be really quiet, just say hello. And I'll say hello back. I would love to have visitors. Let me phrase that. I would love to have visitors to the channel. I despise having visitors at my house. Despise it. I honestly just want to be left by myself, which is kind of funny because at one time in my life I was very um, unhappy with how much time I spent alone. But I've been doing it for so long that I think I've started to value the aloneness. It gives me space to be myself and get through my mental and emotional challenges, and it gives me time to do my art. I don't mind it so much anymore. It does still drive me crazy that I'm not with my husband 24/7 because we, throughout our marriage, worked together in many instances. And matter of fact, we met at a job. So we always worked together and we spent a lot of time together. And, when I became disabled, that meant he had to step up in the job field because I was unable to contribute to our family's finances. And look, we had 3 kids. We still have 3 kids. They didn't go anywhere. I mean, they did. A couple of them have moved out a couple times. One of them has still moved out. And I'm curious, like, what people in this day and age actually think of adult kids who still live with their parents in this country. Because in a lot of countries, living with your parents, even after you get married, sometimes, or just being in that big family environment, um, multi-generational families and such, it's not even a thing. It's like considered what you're supposed to be doing. But in this country, I feel like if you're still living with your parents, even if you're like supporting yourself and having a job, if you live with your parents, people look at you like you're a failure. And I don't think that way at all. Um, especially in this economy. I don't know about y'all, but it is so hard to find a job right now. Um, so I'm curious. What do you think about that? Do you think it's fine? Do you think it's commendable? Because I mean, the kids that live here pretty much provide just general assistance around the house as well. Um, and we all work together, and I don't know that that's a bad thing. I just think it's kind of ridiculous to be like, oh, you're 18, get out. I feel like there's more that parents can offer to their children even past the age of 18. I feel like, especially in today's day and age, especially with children who were in high school or trying to just enter the job market when COVID hit, I feel like they still need some extra parenting. Honestly, I think most people need their parents their whole life. And if we can be here for our kids, um, why shouldn't we? I get annoyed by the idea that when a child is a certain number of years alive, we're supposed to throw them out into the world and let them sink or swim. And to be fair, my first 2 children, the 2 oldest, they did that. I didn't throw them out. But they believed, and I guess I forgot to. I didn't realize that they thought this um, until they'd already moved out. They each moved out right before they turned 18. And they thought that's what they were supposed to do. They thought that we expected them to leave. So they got their stuff and they left. Um, one of them left because we had a big argument. The other one left because I think he was following a girl. My youngest, I happened to mention this to them a couple of years ago. I was like, you do know that when you graduate high school and or turn 18, you're not getting kicked out. You don't have to leave. You do have to respect the household rules and your parents, and you still have to help out and be an adult. But you don't have to leave just because you graduate and turn 18. So, and then I kind of convinced my oldest to move back in. He was just really struggling out there. And I kept seeing him start again, and then things would go wrong, and then he'd start over again, and then things would go wrong. You ever meet somebody that you're just like, wow, the world just likes to kick him when he's down? Yeah, he's got that kind of luck. But I don't expect them to stay here forever. They won't stay here forever. I'm not trying to keep them from living their life. As a matter of fact, they really don't have much in the way of restrictions on where they can go, what they can do. We don't control their schedule. I see myself as like a guide and a mentor to my children now, because they're all adults now, and I'm here to help. Not in every way, but I expect them to get their own lives together, and they are. But I don't see why they can't do that in the same, essentially the same building that their parents are in. Why are we kicking our kids out when they hit an age? I don't understand. I know age is just a number, and in some cases, age actually does matter, right? But how does it matter so much to where you live and who you live with? I don't understand that. I don't remember if I mentioned it yesterday or not, but my dog, my dog's son, my son's dog, the one that got hit by a car last week, is fine. She's gonna be fine. She's walking a little funny right now, but they expect her to fully heal. And she is happy. She is out of pain. So, yay for that. So yeah, I don't know. What do you think about it? What do you think about adult children staying with their parents while they live their own life? They're not here to take care of me. They're not here because we need them here. They're here because they don't want to leave. I mean, they do. They both would like to have their own place. And they do get aggravated still living in the bedrooms next to each other because they're siblings. One of them's a night owl, The other one is more of a daytime person. One of them keeps the other one awake all night. So they get irritated with each other, but they don't have fights. I'm also curious if your thoughts on this topic, like 10 years ago, would you have felt the way you do now? Like, did your opinion change as our world changed? Would you do something differently with your children now than you would have in previous times? Curious. I'm very curious. That's part of why I'm here doing these live streams, because I have thoughts and I'm curious as to what other people's thoughts are. I mean, honestly, people's thoughts don't really change my opinions or how I approach things, but I do like to discuss these things. I like to open up dialogues and just promote conversations between people. Polite conversations. We can debate ideas and talk about differences without becoming rude, mean, hateful. I gotta tell you, I will absolutely at no time ever, ever, ever tolerate rudeness or hate speech in this community. I will not. You will not get a second chance. You will get blocked. Period. End of story. Just saying. I don't have the time or patience for that, and that's not the kind of vibe I want here. We're just going to go ahead and assume that I'm going to color all this to the edge. I don't know if I am or not. This is pretty messy, yeah? Don't judge yourself. I was talking to myself. Obviously. There's nobody else here right now. Do without the drama. Okay. I'm finding these tiny lines quite challenging this morning. Okay, so that's everything kind of outlined, and now I'm gonna go through with the same marker and we're gonna add some cast shadows, but I'm gonna flip my marker over. I might be able to get a little bit of a cleaner, less shaky line with the front edge, like the front edge of the marker on the chisel tip. Pardon me for a moment while I hold my mouth. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, I kind of like that. I'm going to add in some details wherever I want to. So I'm really just adding a little bit of thickness around some of the buildings, but primarily on the bottom of the buildings as well as on this side of them, so that I can add the shadow over that way. It doesn't have to be like a great job. You just want to give the illusion here I think in my other one, let me see. Yeah, and in my other one, I put most of the cast shadows on this side and the highlights over that way. Most of them. Yeah, I don't know if you can tell, but um, using the chisel nib here is actually helping me to have a little bit more control, which is good. You can really just eyeball this and um, just do what looks right to you. I have struggled as an artist with the concepts behind light source for a while. It's something that I just continue to practice. Um, and you get better at it. You just get better at it. It happens. Any of these wobbly lines that are really bad, I'm just coming back over with that front side of the chisel nib. I kind of use the front side of the chisel nib sometimes as like almost a fine tip marker. Okay, I'm trying to connect this so that it doesn't look so blobby. Let's see if I can do it. Do you see how that's kind of just giving it a lot more shape and form? Once we get all of this part done, the other colors are going to be really fast. This is a little bit of detail work. I love these kind of things. I love really finicky stuff or fussy cutting, like where you cut something with scissors that would be way easier to do a different way. I think that's what fussy cutting means. Let's see if I can start turning this chisel tip marker instead of turning the paper. I think that might be driving people a little bit nutty, the way I spin the paper around. But it's because I'm left-handed and I have unsteady hands. I'm just sitting on the couch, painting my nails, trying to look pretty, pretty. I probably should have used the chisel tip earlier. I might have got a better result from the first trace if I had. I didn't think about it. I did not think about it. Don't get bogged down in the details here. I can do that sometimes. I'd like to finish the city by lunch time, but I'm looking at the clock and I'm not sure that's going to happen. He's an angel. Angels don't do what he did. This is coming together pretty well. I know I say that a lot. That's because I look at my art a lot and try to figure out if it's doing what I want to do. But I try not to judge it too early because it's always going to look funny. Coffee. Pardon me. I have to hold my mouth. My goodness. Also, while I was in my building yesterday, found the parts, the jewelry pieces that I need to attach a pretty little necklace, a little pendant that my husband got me to my my collar. So have that in here too. I might do that on a live stream. I'm sorry that everybody kind of has to look at the top of my head while I'm looking down. At some point, I will be able, hopefully, to switch that camera with the camera that's in front of me. I tend to talk to this camera more instead of looking up at my laptop, but it's an iPhone. And as far as I know, though, I'm going to try to do some Googling on it during lunch. You can only connect one iPhone at a time using continuity camera to OBS. And this camera right here, that one is an iPhone. This one's an iPhone. That one's an iPhone. That's going through my internal Mac camera. So I don't know how to connect my overhead and my front-facing iPhone at the same time. I feel like the overhead camera is more important, honestly. So until I figure this out, you're just gonna have to look at the top of my head. I'm sorry. It's not the prettiest view. And again, my face isn't either, so it is what it is, right? I can feel it upside down. I'm leaving these ones for last because I'm going to add some detail to them. And if you notice, I'm leaving the tops of all of the buildings alone. I'm leaving them white because the light is hitting the top of the roof. So even though we can see it from far away, at least I feel like it should be an area that is more of a highlight than anything else. That's just how my eyes see it, you know. I'm trying to leave the tops of the spires kind of bright as well. It's a little bit difficult to do because my hand's shaking all over the place, but we're gonna get through it. Just tighten up this line. So I wanted to say, one of the reasons that I go to lunch at the same time every day is because I feel like it's important to recognize and represent healthy behaviors. And I don't believe that it's healthy to skip lunch or to stay on a stream all day. So I'm not going to do that to myself. Okay. I'm going back to the brush tip now. And I'm just gonna swipe this kind of back and just create these little flicks. And then just a couple times, I'm going to come back across here. So that's going to give it the look of having highlight coming from this side, but also like just, all right, so there's that. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to add a little circle right there, a little circle right there, And I'm going to give that little circle a little tail. Okay. I'm going to add some like vertical lines here. See, I'm going to just draw a little line right here. Give that kind of a clock tower look. And I'm going to bring some vertical lines into this one. See if I can create some. Just in some of the bigger spaces, you know. Let me, I'm just going to do one vertical line through here. And I'm going to see if I can make some little curved strokes to give this building a rounder shape. That didn't work. Okay, we're going to leave that like that. Actually, I'm going to add two more lines right here. Okay, that is the castle, I mean the city kind of all filled in. Now I'm going to come down here. These are some little bush rows in the far back down here, and I'm just going to come and bring this color in up a little bit, and some little shading from the lower areas here, so like here, to kind of break it up a little bit. I'm going to add some bushes back here. Okay. Okay. Bring that up because what's in front of it will create a shadow. And I'm not being like exact. This isn't exactly a science. I guess it is. Art is kind of a form of science, isn't it? It's okay if it kind of blobs a little here and there. Right. That looks pretty good, I think. We've got a little time left too. Somehow well, I don't have a lot of time since. And somehow I didn't figure I would get done with the detail part of it, but here we go. Let's grab the next color. Oh man. Okay, hang on. I'm having trouble fast forwarding, that's all. Okay. So we're done with G29. We need to use parrot green and colored pencil, so that swaps out to G17. All right. We're going to come back over everything and just bring it in a little bit. Bring the color in a little bit. Okay. You don't need to go very strong with this. It's just kind of adding a touch here or there. Can you see what we're doing here? Yeah. It's pretty simple once you have it all laid out with the darkest color. You just kind of add touches to the insides and the cast shadows. Again, you really don't have to be precise with this step, because once you have your shapes laid down, you're really just adding a touch of color to them. And really, when you're doing something this small, it's just a touch. I'm just going to go right up on this side of that little spire, like that. Did I mention G17? I'm not really even going into every area. Come down the side right here, barely. And see, I don't even have to really follow the lines at this point. You can just touch the marker to the edge. I also find that's a little trick that helps it to not desaturate the base color as much when you're doing these details. I also wanted to mention, just so you guys know, there is no team here. Um, Everything that I'm doing all by myself. Occasionally, you might see if my husband has some free time, he will jump into the stream on the live chat. Mostly, usually, if I'm having some kind of problem that I'm not aware of, like my music playing through, or my audio being off, or my camera going dead. But sometimes he just wants to chat with me. We've always done that, been in chat rooms together. Used to be on like forums where our friends were. So it's just little old me doing stuff here. And that's why this thing will change and grow pretty slowly. Because it's just me. Well, that's not exactly true. I do have my bunnies here, so they help, right? Mr. Nod's snoring. I don't I don't even try to wake Mr. Nod up. He's my sleepy bunny. But Moona is here. Luna the Moon Moon. I guess I should say Luna is not my child's name exactly. Luna is a nickname that I gave my middle child. I used to call her Luna the Moon Moon. So it just fit. I'll be by your side, I'll be by your side. I do hope at some point to figure out a way to put the link to whatever I'm listening to on Spotify on the stream so that if you want to listen with me, you can. I'm just not sure how to do that. It's something I've been trying to figure out for a while. I'm going to tell you a secret. Spotify keeps changing its features and where everything is, and I can't keep up, man. I'll figure out where there's like a link or a button to do something on Spotify, and then like the next day I'll come back and it's gone. It probably took me like 6 months to figure it out, but now it's gone and I have to figure out where it went. Spotify irritates me sometimes. Matter of fact, I had a full-on like screaming match with Spotify this weekend. Well, what it really was is that I was having anxiety and starting to kind of break down over the fact that I'm gonna have to do this oral surgery. I don't want to right now. It's just, it's not a good time, you know, but I guess it never is a good time to get dental work done. I've been putting this off for a while, but yeah, so it's my little breakdown started with me kind of yelling to my, not at, yelling to my husband about what Spotify was doing to me. And then I just kind of rolled from there into crying about my mouth. And I forgot to turn the cameras off when I started crying. But that's just video to edit. It wasn't on live, thankfully. I'm sure at some point I will have a little breakdown while I'm live. It happens. I've been, I guess, lucky so far that that hasn't occurred. I'm not trying to be somebody specific here. I'm just trying to be who I am. I guess that's pretty specific, trying to be who you are. But I'm not going to be a character or someone other than myself, you know? This is just me. This is just what I do. And if you want to hang out with me, cool. If not, then I'm not your people, and that's okay. I'm not going to get upset about it as long as you aren't rude about it. See how much faster this actually went? We're almost done with the second color. I'm down with whatever comes from me anyway. I feel. Alright, this last one over here. Again, I'm going to try to curve these strokes. Ta-da! Okay, and our next color should be, I'm not sure, hang on. Light green. Let me go down my little thing here. Light green, that's YG06. And you can use any colors you want for this. I mean, you could do this in grays and blues or browns if you weren't like trying to emulate the Emerald City. So I'm just going back over everything pretty quickly. I can cover a lot of the areas with this that are left white, but I'm gonna try to still leave some white highlights. It's not something I'm great at all the time. I practice it, and you know, when you're doing art, it's always practice most of the time, unless you're trying to do a specific project and you want it to turn out a specific way. But usually when I'm doing that, I tend to kind of do a few practice pieces with the technique or skill before I start doing the project. This isn't a project. This is just practicing and having fun. Learning and experimenting. That's my favorite thing to do, is experiment with things. Go through the really dark areas. I try to add a good amount of this color to those darker areas. Just go over the top of them because it helps to blend the colors together. I'm going to come around the hair kind of thickly and bring that color up this way. fill in these little bushes pretty much all the way. It's 11 o'clock. I'm going to try to finish this part out real quick, okay? After I just sat here and talked this morning about how the schedule's important. But sometimes I just want to get to a stopping point. That's okay, right? This isn't going to take a lot of time. I'm still trying to leave the tops of the buildings alone. And down here at the bottom of this building with the stripes across it, I'm gonna fill that in completely here because it's darker down there. But then as I get to the top, I'm gonna skip spaces with this. Because I want that white to peek through. There we go. That's pretty much all of it. As a final touch, I'm gonna grab G000 instead of the colorless blender, and I'm just gonna run this through everything. I'm not even being careful. And yes, that's gonna go over my white, but that's okay. This is just going to soften everything and give it a nice pretty green tone. I'm still trying to avoid those rooftop spots. So I do start usually with the basic colors of the class, and then sometimes I do my own thing. I got leakage. Oops. That's not too bad. It's blobbing, it's blobbing. I'll take the other cap off. It usually happens when I'm not paying attention. Almost messed up that spire though. That would have not been a happy moment for me. Now, after I finish this entire page, I'm going to come back through here with white pencil and probably some liquid white products to add in highlights in the white areas. It's not completely dry yet, but that's where we are. Oops. It's not so hard. Right. It is now 11:07, so it's lunchtime. Let me know if you enjoyed watching this technique, and if you have any tips or tricks that I should try out, let me know that too. I'm always curious. We're probably going to be doing another one of these, but in like sepia tones or grayscale. So, yeah. And then, let me know if you enjoyed hanging out with me and watching this video, and maybe what you'd like to see next. I know I haven't shown any of my whips or other ideas for projects, but I will start showing them soon, and you can like tell me if you're excited to see that or not. All right, thank you for hanging out here at Periwinkle Palace Arts, and yeah, I'm Princess Bun Bun. Thanks for hanging out with me and all of my bun buns. We did art. Yay, we did art, and I'll see you after lunch.